Alright, can you guys even stand it? We are on week 4 of this train. We're going to do the caboose, and it is going to be ready for you guys to play. So hopefully your kids have started seeing what you're doing and they're excited for you to get it finished. Or maybe you're keeping it a secret, I don't know. But we're going to finish up with the caboose, and we'll be ready for the countdown. So Pia's back with us, and we'll get started.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so the base of the caboose is going to be 8.5 by 12, and it's again the lightweight chipboard, the really flimsy stuff. But it's really good once we get it all put together, and it scores well, where the thicker stuff doesn't score as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good thought.
That's why I didn't build it out of the thicker stuff, because then you have to start making tabs to put the pieces together. So this is a lot simpler, and it's really sturdy. So we're going to start by drawing our lines again. And on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to do 1/2 inch, 7.5, and that's our 8.5 inch line. So this will be all cut off. And on the 12 inch side, we're going to do 4.5, 5, 7, and 7.5. And just remember, draw lines all the way through. And this is what we come up with. For the windows, you're going to make a line 2 inches down. You'll just mark it 2 inch on both sides. And just draw a line. And then to figure out how to get them even, you're going to go 1.5, 3.5, and 5.5. And same thing on the bottom, 1.5, 3.5, and 5.5. And draw the lines. Oh, I don't think I got that measured up quite right. But you're going to end up with lines that look like this. And that's your circle. And in the very first week, I told you take a punch, the size of the window you want, the window size, punch it out, fold it, and when you open it up, it's going to have the 4 folded lines, and that's where your window is. So you center that on your 4 lines, and you draw your circles. And you do the same thing on the other side. So once you start cutting, you're going to cut your tabs off. So you have your tabs, and again take the corners off. Same thing down here, you're going to make the little tabs. I did them in red so you could see them better. And go along the outside edge of your lines. And then we're going to score on the inside here. And again, on the cardstock, I like to just score with a ruler. And go all the way across. Now that's ready to fold. And then we'll do the other side. Again, the little hole, just measure halfway and go up just a little bit and punch your hole. And that's the main part of the caboose. Here. Now we need to paper it, and if you remember from when we did the engine, you take your paper and you glue the first part on. Fold it over, score it, put some more glue, fold it, score it, and glue it all on like that. And I'm going to pass that over to Chris, and hopefully she'll be really, really nice and glue it for me. Of course I will. Awesome. And while she's doing that, we'll work on the roof part, the top inside. That's going to hold it all together. And on the back side, we have a full piece. On the front, we just have the little tab so you can put things inside. On the other side, we have a full piece. And your full piece is going to be 2 by 6 inches. So 6 inches long and 2 inches wide. And you're just going to go half an inch in on both sides. And that's our tab. So once it's cut out, it looks like this. You're going to glue the paper down and fold it on your score line. And then you'll punch out the little hole on that one too. Glue it down. Trim around. And if you want, you could fold these sides in too. But it's not going to matter because the trim will cover it. Okay, and there you have your back piece. The roof part looks a lot the same. The measurements are just a bit different. It's a 3 by 7 piece. And the corners are going to be cut a little different because the tabs are on the long sides this time. So once you cut it out, you're just going to tab it on these two sides, on the long sides. So that's your roof part that goes inside. And that'll also get paper. And it's okay, like if it sticks out a little bit, because that's just the tab, so you're not really gonna, it's not gonna matter because you're not gonna see it. And trim it to size. Have your top. Now that the paper's all put on, let's start putting it together. For the windows, just like we did on the engine, gonna cut a circle, gonna tab it out, and fold them inward. And you're gonna do that on all 6 windows. Glue them down or tape them down on the inside so you have your windows. On this one, I finished it off. And you can probably maybe see it black on black just so it doesn't stand out too much. But I flipped it over to the non-dot side. And I just took and punched a hole the size of your window, 1 1/4. And then I took a 1 1/2 inch and punched the circle around the inside circle. So you have a circle inside a circle. And then you can just affix it right to the outside of the window to finish off those edges.
It gives it a cool look.
It just gives it a little bit of a different look. So it's windows you want to look inside. Makes you want to peek in
there.
Okay, so we're going to glue the tabs on the small side first, and remember you have your hole punch. Don't forget your hole. And this is going to take forever to dry, so we're just going to sit. The glue is not sticking today for some reason, and it is just being funny. Okay, so now we have our other side, the long side, and that's going to need that panel that comes in. And that was the panel that has the hole. You know what, actually you only need the hole on the one side, and it's this side, so you do not need to punch a hole. So I hope you haven't been following along and punching holes. Then we need to cover it up, okay? So you're going to just
hang a cute trinket from it.
Or hang a really cute trinket from it. That would be so cute. Glue. Stick the tab in. And that gets glued down. Glue on the sides. And that gets glued in like that. And then we're going to put on the roof. Glue on both tabs. And the roof slides in. Like that. And you have the main body of the caboose. And once that's all dry, then you'll start on this part of the roof that goes over. And that's very simple. It's just a 6 by 9 inch piece of chipboard. And to bend it again, because if you try to bend pieces like this, they will crack. So again, mist it with a little bit of water. It needs to be a little bit bigger, so I took like a hairspray can. You can do spray paint, bathroom cleaner, whatever you have. Wrap it over, and I just rubber banded it down, just so it'll keep its shape till it's dry, because the little bit bigger pieces take a little bit longer to dry. And once it's dry, just take it off, and you have your folded piece. And you're going to paper that also, glue it, paper, and trim to size. And once that's done, to glue it on, you're just going to put a strip of glue down on each side on the edge of your caboose, and this just sits on top, and it actually just holds like that. And then again comes the fun part. We're going to do the wheels. I've punched out some circles. This one is a little bigger than what I did on here, but that just shows that you can use any size punches that you have. They don't have to be a certain size. So you just have your basic shape. And you can double it. For the bigger pieces, sometimes it's good to double it just so it's not quite as flimsy. And then you're going to take your next size down. Just make sure they graduate down in size. And I'm just going to pop dot that right on there. And it just gives it a little more dimension for a wheel.
Love dimension.
Love dimension. Everything's 3D. It's so fun. Okay, and again, you can glossy accent the middle, or you can put a jewel on it, and then you have your 4 wheels. And just make sure again to draw on the back side how tall you want it to be, so they're all the same height, so you don't have a ski-wampus train. Okay, and for embellishments again, I've cut the paper, the mistletoe paper, and done it all around. I did it on all the edges, so it kind of covers up all your cut edges, and it got the scallop on top on the roof. Put another piece of the one with the lights and put the glossy accent on it. The wreath is really done like the windows. It just punched a circle, and then I punched a larger circle that had the scallops. If you don't have that, you can use your decorative scissors and just cut a little wreath out of the button package. I then took the little bow, or you can just tie a cute little bow that matches your ribbon. I put jewels for lights on the back, because the front of the engine had the big lights and this one has the little lights. And from the trinket package, or excuse me, from the trinket package that has all these cute little charms, I put one on each side, like that. Again, it got the little acorn dowels on top with a little jewel. And then I had some extra pieces, and I'm going to see if I can show you. Kind of show you inside, so when your kids come up and peek in, there's little presents and a stocking and little stars inside. And you can put them on one side, you can put them on both sides. And that way when they peek in, there's a little surprise inside. Because you know how kids like to come up and crawl up to the table and peek around.
In or under the tree. I loved laying under the tree.
There's just little stuff. And look up on the lights. Yeah.
And just, my mom had little candles and stuff sitting out, and I just love to sit and dream.
And if you put this train there, they'll sit there and play with it and stuff. And you can add more embellishments, you can add less, you can add bows, trinkets.
Do we have our
jewels.
box to show that it fits our 25?
Let me see where that ran off to. This was the one we just made last week. And it'll have the ribbon and the big tag. And it's going to just sit right inside here.
How
and
cute
just
is
kind
that?
of peek out, so it's like, oh, there's a big box in there.
I love that.
And they can take that on the 25th and get a special surprise. And that is your train, and I hope you had tons of fun, and it's been really fun to come and show it off.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your talent with us. It has been a blast, and hopefully you guys are going to get as many hours of fun making the train and then watching your children enjoy the train throughout Christmas. And it really is something that you could save and reuse year after year. Just, get a good box where it doesn't get smashed and it'll be reusable. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you in December.